Hey fam, what's going on? How are you? How are you doing today? How was your weekend? What's going on? Is anything new? So I am kind of right now in the middle of filming my skin prep video, like to prep for full glam makeup. But I figured since my skin was prepped, I could take a little intermission and film another video. So we are going to do a full face of Colourpop makeup. My primers are not Colourpop, but everything else is Colourpop. So I have so much like new blushes. I have the Aha Honey. I've got the Blush and Light sticks. I've got this curated palette. I've got the California Love palette. So we're just gonna play with new Colourpop. I've got some glitter, some glosses, I've got liners. So we're just gonna get to it. So I have already prepped my skin. That video is already up if you want to check that out. But I used my Ulla Henriksen Truth regimen and also my Lush Tea Tree Water Spray, which is like my favorite. I know my eyebrows are a little bit wonky, but we're just going to go with it. So I'm trying to keep this all affordable. So I do have my two favorite. This might be like my favorite primer combination right now, aside from my Cover FX Gripping Primer. But this is the Oil Control Primer Mist. Not a mist. ELF. I would not call this a mist. It's a little aggressive, but it works really, really well. I have seen people like put it in their hands and like just pat it into like their skin that way, but I just don't feel like it works as well if you do that. Life with dogs. Sorry if you can hear them barking. My brother-in-law's in the backyard with one of his friends. My boyfriend's downstairs. And they're all stuck up here, and they don't want to be up here, they want to be outside, but it's really, really hot outside for them right now. So, we're trying to keep them inside. Maya went swimming earlier, so she was really wet, and now, like, we're kind of afraid that every time she goes outside, she's going to want to jump in the pool. But, so far she hasn't jumped in unless somebody else is with her. But anyway, I'm going to take my Poreless Putty Primer. And that's like really all you need. And I'm just gonna smooth that onto my skin. And I was a huge fan of the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. And I did not believe when people said that this was just as good. So I did pick it up finally. After months of it being out of stock, I was able to grab it, and it really is just as good. Alright, so my eyebrows are already on, and I actually did use here it is. I used my Colourpop Precision Brow Pencil in Cool Cocoa. This is my favorite brow pencil, and I'm just going to go in with a little bit of the Brow Boss gel in dark brown. And this I really feel like it just gives your brows a little bit more dimension and really, really just keeps them in place all day long. So I feel like that made such a big difference. Alright, so now for skin, I do have the Colourpop No Filter Foundation, which I was out in the sun for a little bit longer than I thought I was going to be, so I am a little bit tan. This might be too light. We're going to make it work. This is not my favorite foundation, but I'm going to try it with this primer combination and see how it works. So yeah, that's definitely going to be too light, but for sake of full face of Colourpop, whoa, we are going to try. it looks so nice. The skin, it looks nice and dewy. I would say it's like a medium coverage, but from what I remember, I haven't used this in a long time. But from what I remember, it does build up a bit. But it is super light. We're going to have to go in with some powder to darken this up a smidge. Yeah. We need just a tiny bit more. Let's see how it builds up. Now, as you did see before, like, I do have pretty intense rosacea. It gets worse, like, the more I'm in the sun. If I'm, like, touching my face, it gets worse. If I'm, like, hot, obviously, it gets really bad. So I do normally, I mean, if you follow me on Instagram, like, then you know, but I do normally wear a very, very, like, full coverage mask, I call it sometimes. So, I mean, it is a little bit light, but it's not awful. So, like, it looks so pretty on the skin right now. I don't remember what, I think it just didn't last long on me. But again, like, I could have just not done, my skincare regimen has, like, improved dramatically. This is a Colourpop No Filter Concealer, which is also very light, but I do generally like a brightening concealer. And I know I tend to just take my same foundation brush. Whoa, that's a bright schnoz. And I'm just gonna blend that over my eyelid so we could use it as an eyeshadow base. I don't have the Colourpop setting powder. These two, which are affordable, the Flower Beauty and the J-Cat Aquassurance. But I need, like, a heavy set right now. So I'm just gonna blend out whatever has already creased under my under eye. And take some of the Aquassurance and just set that down. So I think if you're, like, dry, I think you would love this foundation and concealer combo. And, like, I tend to be dry in the winter. But then in the summertime, it's not even that I'm, like, oily, but I don't like hot, like, at all. My body doesn't, like, regulate temperature so great. So I'm, like, always hot in the summertime. Like, there's kind of no relief for me unless I'm, like, inside an air conditioner, obviously. My brush is shedding. So I need something matte. I, like, have to set my foundation no matter what. I'm not one of those people. Not one of those people that can just, like, casually not set their foundation, as nice as that would be. I'm just going to take that Flower Beauty powder and just see if we can deepen this up a smidge. Yeah, I couldn't find a Colourpop bronzer. I'm pretty sure that at some point I did have one, but I may have, I know when I was working in the salon, I brought a bunch of stuff to, like, put in the salon makeup kit because there wasn't really that much in there. So I'm wondering if, like, that's what happened to them or if I passed them along to somebody. I don't know, but I'm going to go in with my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is like my tried and true. I have so many new bronzers and I just keep going. I still grab for this one. And I love a brush that's like shaped this way because as you can see, like I get that perfect like blended but yet sharp line of demarcation, which I do. I like a more chiseled yet blended kind of look. I forgot that we had these and I don't know how they're gonna go on top of powder. Should we try? I'm a little scared. No, I'm not gonna do it. I will save these. I'll use these in another video, but I can't in good conscience put cream on top of powder because I already know it's not gonna work. But what I do have are these 3 new blushes from Colourpop and Kathleen Lights. This, I don't know, this I don't think I'm quite tan enough for yet. But I do think I want to use this one, which is, I put them all in here without making a label for them. This is my Sun and Stars. So this one's really pretty. This one, I think this one is called Lunar Has It. Oh, no, I lied. This one is I Need Space, which is really, really pretty. This would be like an everyday blush for me. But I think we're going to go in with something more like warm on the eye. So I think I want to go in with this peachy one. And then this one, this like orangey one, this is called So Retrograde. So let me take this brush. Whoa, that's pigmented. And I personally, I like to tap my blush. I don't really like to, not initially anyway. But I do like to tap and then lightly. And I bring my blush up really high on like the apples of my cheeks. I don't know why. And this is a very, whoa, do you see that? That's a very, very glowy blush. I may have went a smidge overboard. That's okay. I actually really like that blush. It is much more glowy than I would normally go for in a blush, but that's okay. I like it. It looks very like sun-kissed. And then for highlighter, I was going to grab, well, again, I forgot to use my light sticks, but I was going to grab Flexitarian, but I feel like Flexitarian is everybody's favorite. So I do have these 2 highlight palettes from Colourpop. So I think what I'm going to do is do my eyes first and then see which highlighter I want to use, because I kind of want to go in with this one, with this guy or this guy, maybe mixed together, because I feel like that's the vibe we have going on so far. But let's go into eyes first. I have 3 palettes. So this one, I think they called Pretty Please. This is, you know, single shadows in an empty palette. This was like a curated palette, which I do really like. Like, I love all of these glitters, but I think I also have the California Love, which is, I didn't expect to like this as much as I do, but it is just so pretty. And the packaging too, I love the packaging. So I think we might use like a mix of this one and the Aha Honey palette, which is adorable. And again, when I saw that Colourpop was coming out with an all yellow palette, I was like, who the hell needs that many yellow eyeshadows? And then when I saw it, I was like, oh, I do. I need that many yellow eyeshadows. So I think we're gonna do that. So I'm going to start with this Morphe M441 brush, and I think we're gonna go into start with Stinger, which is like this matte yellow up here. My handy dandy Jeffree Star mirror. And I'm blending that. That is a really pretty just wash of yellow, but I'm blending that pretty high up, not quite like up to my brow, but pretty high up on my brow bone. I just like a very like blended, let me scoot a little bit closer. I like a very blended eyeshadow look. I don't like any harsh lines, and I don't have a lot of real estate to work with on my eyelids, so I do tend to blend my eyeshadow up pretty high because I feel like I can't get as much detail into an eye look as I would like. Now I'm going to go in with this BH Cosmetics fluffy brush. It's like a mid-size blending brush, and I think we're going to go into this shade, Totally Buggin', in the Aha Honey palette. What color do you guys think Colourpop is going to do next? You think they're going to keep going with this like monochromatic trend? I mean, they've been doing really well with it. I think all of the palettes have done they've done like a great job. I think I have all of them except for the red one, and that's just because I don't wear colors like that that often. And just an FYI, because I know I have to put it out there, this video is not sponsored. Everything in this video is purchased with my own money. I just had so much new Colourpop that I was like, why not do a full face of Colourpop? So this shade, Totally Buggin', I'm taking like also very high, but staying below that initial shade that we used. Just to start adding some depth and dimension into there. They blend together beautifully. So now I think that I want to jump over into the California Love and go into this shade called Sequoia. And I think I'm going to go right on that same brush that I was just using. And again, we're going to stay like now just underneath where we just did all of that blending. Oh, that is a beautiful, beautiful color. Oh. Hey fam, alright, so I'm sorry, there was a little commotion going on in the other room. So I'm going in with this tiny little fluffy brush and that like mid-tone warm brown from the California Love palette. And I am just going to tuck that right in my outer corner and going up into my crease just slightly, maybe like a third of the way across my eyelid. So we're going back into the Aha Honey palette, and there were so many pretty shimmers I had a hard time choosing, but I went with this like chartreuse color in the middle on top. I'm sorry, I don't have the palette in front of me, so I don't remember the exact name, but it was so beautiful. There were so many different color like reflex in this shimmer, and it was so creamy and buttery. It went on so smooth, so nicely, and was so eye-catching on the lid. Okay, so I could have stopped there, but I am going back in with that same tiny blending brush and just blending out the edges of where I applied that chartreuse shimmery shade, and I am just swiping away any fallout that may have fallen onto my cheeks. And I'm going back into the palette and I'm grabbing that center pressed glitter shade that I believe is called Palooza, and I'm just going to take my finger and pack that on, not even pack, I'm going to gently tap some of that onto my lid. And this has so many different reflex in it as well. There's yellow and orange and even a little bit of green, and it just adds like an extra pop to the lid. It was so sparkly. Now I'm just going in with my Colourpop BFF liquid liner, which is not my favorite liquid liner. I feel like my felt tip always pills up, but I feel like that with any felt tip liner. And I am just going to do a small line on my lid just to conceal the lashes I am about to put on. Okay, well, I had planned on just doing a thin line, and then somehow it turned into a little wing to conceal the lashes I am about to put on. Now I'm just going in with a light coat of Colourpop BFF mascara to prep for falsies. So I am going to wear the Kiss lashes in the style Pixie. They're very similar to the Ardell Wispies or the 113 Wispies. I love Kiss lashes. They're super easy to apply, super comfortable to wear. Don't sleep on them. Next time you're in the store and you see them, definitely give them a try. Now for highlighter, I'm going into the Gimme More palette. This was their original highlighting palette, and I'm going into the light pink shade and the peach shade on top, and I'm just going to mix them together and apply it to the high points of my face, my cheekbones, a little on my nose, a little on my cupid's bow. Now I am just going to give myself a good spray with the Morphe setting spray. I'm sorry I don't have the Colourpop setting spray on hand right now. And since this look is so glowy and summery, I think I am just going to go in with a lip gloss from Colourpop. And I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of it. I don't have these products in front of me right now, but I did pick this up from Ulta and I did haul it, so it might be in my last haul. And that is it for this look, guys. I hope you enjoyed my first tutorial in full face of Colourpop, and definitely tag me on Instagram if you are inspired to recreate this look, and definitely subscribe for more, and I will see you soon. Bye.